what is the appropriate level of allocation that institutional investors should consider when they're looking at bringing digital assets into a portfolio?
So what I'd like to say is that zero allocation to this space is the wrong answer.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. In today's video, we're going to be playing some video clips from some industry-leading experts sharing their opinion with you all about how having 0% allocated to this digital asset space is the wrong answer, and how after the lifting of this SAB 121 bill, if it does get lifted, will ignite a massive inflow of capital via institutional investors that are interested in adopting these digital assets. We, as manual retail investors, have seen 110% confirmation that we are at the forefront leading the charge in this digital asset adoption. And I'm going to play and show you guys all of that information here in today's breakdown. So do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the platform if you're not already, and make sure that you stick around for the entirety of this video. So as you all know, if you follow me on the X space, I came across this video clip just a couple of days ago of a representative from the DTCC confirming, and this is honest to God, in my personal opinion, so monumental that she confirmed this publicly and it was posted on YouTube for the world to see, yet the vast amount of individuals will still, it'll fly right over their head. Okay, this got 35,000 impressions, so shout out to everybody that shared this or reposted it. But listen to what she says here about how, and I know that it might get repetitive, and I know some other influencers have posted it on their videos, but that's fine. More people need to see this. More people need to wake up and realize that, yes, retail traders have the advantage right now, but we are running out of time where we are going to maintain that advantage. Because when the floodgates open in these financial institutions get the regulatory green light, we are going to see an unprecedented and unfathomable amount of liquidity flood into this space that most people cannot even comprehend. So listen to what she says here. Again, a representative from the DTCC confirming this is so crazy that we as retail investors are leading the charge ahead of financial institutions in this digital asset ecosystem.
Bostonian once said, the institutions are coming, right? And we're starting to see progress where more certainty in the market is helping institutional adoption, such as the approvals of FIT21, other instruments, both ETH and Bitcoin, spot ETFs. Those have been super helpful in pushing the movement forward. It just shows you there's pinned up demand. It is pushing through. There's a couple of things that are a little bit different about this. This is the first time in our history where we've seen actually retail lead and institutional follow, but the certainty that we're
I mean, I don't even know what to say. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. That find was monumental. I think I got the video breakdown from the YouTube, Chainlink YouTube, excuse me. But so anyways, moving on. Why is this so monumental, and what kind of developments are we seeing happening behind the scenes right now? Well, yesterday, just, over the past, let's just say 48 hours, we've seen monumental posts from Congress individuals just grilling the SEC. For example, here, I'm not going to play these video clips, but we can see SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce says the SEC should have admitted long ago that crypto tokens themselves are not securities. Just then, U.S. Congressman Tom Emmer tells SEC Chair Gary Gensler that we could not have had more historically destructive or lawless chairman of the SEC. I mean, these developments are monumental because it just proves that we here as researchers have been at the forefront telling you guys that all the things that the SEC is doing it's absolutely horrible and it's misleading. And it's, in my personal opinion, again, this can't necessarily be proven. It is my personal opinion, so I got to say that they did this in order to stall adoption, in order to take everybody's attention away from the massive transformational wealth that is about to unfold. So that way, you as retail investors, knowing now for a fact that we are ahead of of institutions, right? Don't adopt these technologies and don't benefit from this revolutionary transformation. Okay. That's my personal opinion. I have a firm belief that this was all systemically implemented so that way we don't come up on life-changing wealth, and that's unfolding at a rapid pace. So what else are we seeing? We saw this as well. Press release, McHenry, I'm not going to butcher these individual names, Washington, September 2024, and we see SAB 121 and some different developments happening surrounding this. Now, if you're not too familiar with what SAB 121 is, let me just play this for you guys, because this is one of the main factors stalling institutional adoption. And after this video clip, I'm going to play 2 more video clips that's going to blow your mind, because this gentleman literally says that what the SEC did with SAB 121 is hinder institutional adoption. Okay, so this gentleman confirms that. And this is an individual representative. Let me just share his credentials. If I'm not mistaken, he is the head of State Street Digital Assets. All right, so it's not just some random person. Okay, and then I'm going to play a video clip of an individual representative from a SEC regulated organization confirmed to you guys on stage that having 0% allocated to this digital asset space is the wrong answer. And then a gentleman after that, sorry, excuse me, that's a lady that says that. And then a gentleman after that goes on to mention that after SAB 121 gets lifted, the amount of institutional order flow that's going to come into digital assets is going to be monumental. So take all of that into consideration up to what I've shared with you guys so far. The DTCC representative coming out and saying that institutions are falling behind retail in this adoption curve, that we have the upper hand. We're seeing the SEC get grilled in front of Congress. We're seeing ongoing developments unfold surrounding SAB 121. Again, I'm going to play this video clip so you guys understand what that is. All right, so just take a second and listen, and then we're going to read a fundamental, and we'll dive into the rest of the video clips.
Actually, I remember at the last year's Financial Services Forum Summit, that was a topic in the panel I was on with Commissioner Pierce from the SEC. But what's the relevance of that staff guidance on the ability of firms to innovate, to perform these roles, to manage private keys for clients?
Yeah, so Staff Accounting Bulletin 121 was issued by the Office of the Chief Accountant at the SEC, and it essentially kind of had at its core 2 main requirements. One is that entities that are safekeeping or custodying digital assets needed to include a number of disclosures to their clients, risk disclosures in their financial statements about the risks associated with that. Which makes a lot of sense. And then the second aspect was to ensure that those entities include on their balance sheet both an asset and a liability equal to the fair market value of those assets. And for most public companies that this applies to, who are not banks, it's more of a reporting exercise. It doesn't have a fundamental impact to the way they run their business. For a custody bank or a bank in general, when you put an asset on your balance sheet, that means you need to hold capital against that asset. So it makes the activity of custodying assets much more expensive for the bank. And so as we go through this process and we have SAB 121, it essentially provides a hindrance for banks to be getting into this business, because it makes it a lot more expensive. Traditionally, in custody of traditional assets, those do not go on the balance sheet. So this is it makes the activity more expensive than it would otherwise be. And I think there's a challenge here too, because as I mentioned, a core aspect of what a custody bank does and what a bank does generally is to ensure that we are doing things in a safe and a sound manner, and that we're managing our clients' assets in a way that facilitates financial stability. By having SAB 121, it makes it harder for banks, who are the entities that are kind of most suited to bringing stability to the digital asset industry. It kind of keeps them out.
Right. So this individual from State Street just confirmed on stage at a financial services forum that SAB 121 keeps financial institutions out of this digital asset space. He said that word for word just now to you guys. Okay. Now listen to what this representative said, considering what I already played for you guys about the DTCC rep saying that we as retail investors are leading the charge and that institutions are falling behind. These banks know that. They know that they are missing out right now on massive opportunities, massive gains, because of the hindrance surrounding regulation and regulatory clarity. Listen to what this rep here says. Okay, I'm going to play 2 video clips from this. First off, this is Zoe Cruz. Okay, she is the Chief Executive Officer at Mania Financial Group. Right? If you go look at Mania Financial Group, they are a SEC regulated entity. Okay. And this is her saying this on stage. Wow. This is just a phenomenal clip right here. Take a second here and listen to what she says. Let me.
Portfolio. And from your perspective, what is the appropriate level of allocation that institutional investors should consider when they're looking at bringing digital assets into a portfolio?
So what I'd like to say is that 0 allocation to this space is the wrong answer. more than 2 to 10%, 10% if you can't stand it, if you're not all in on the space, is also the wrong answer. This is a nascent asset class. It is risky, but what has us all excited about the space, it's the asymmetry of risk reward.
All right, so we'll pause it right there. I don't want it to go on, but you guys heard her say it. 0% allocation to this space is the wrong answer when asked about what institutions should have via this adoption of digital. Like, I don't know what else to show people. This is just monumental information. These clips are so groundbreaking that this is coming from, go look up on your own time, Mania Financial Group. They are a SEC regulated entity, and she is the chief executive officer telling people on stage, right? 0% allocated to the space is the wrong answer. And what did I share with you guys? DTCC rep saying we as retail investors have the upper hand. So as a retail investor, what should we be taking advantage of? Having ourselves allocated to a certain percentage to this digital asset space. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research on what you're going to allocate into, building your own proper portfolio and so on and so forth. But wow. Okay. Now, what else is happening behind the scenes? We had this come out just the other day, and this is just proof that financial institutions are waking up. They're realizing that they are going to fall behind if they don't start adopting these digital assets now, right? BNY nears crypto custody for ETFs after SEC softened SAB 121 stance. This came out September 24th. The Bank of New York Mellon is moving towards providing custody services for its exchange-traded fund clients, Bitcoin and Ether, after the United States Securities and Exchange Commission gave it a pass on observing controversial crypto accounting guidelines. The SEC's Office of Chief Accounting conducted a review earlier this year and concluded that the bank did not need to adhere to the SEC Staff Accounting Bulletin 121. Bloomberg reported. SAB 121, we went over, it requires companies safeguarding client crypto assets to list them as liabilities in their accounting. It has been a thorn in the side of the U.S. crypto industry since the introduction in April 2022. The SEC has started to loosen its grip. Other financial institutions may also receive the same break, the SEC hinted at a spokesperson and told Bloomberg, right? Keep all of this in mind because listen to what this gentleman here says. So when this bill gets lifted, all right, obviously, of course, we need a sound geopolitical environment. We're starting to see rate cuts on a global scale from major central banks, Bank of England, Swiss National Bank. We got the freaking ECB, and now we got the Fed all cutting rates. The environment for the next massive bull market cycle is prepping now, okay? And this would be the icing on the cake, in my personal opinion, that would spark a massive influx of capital into the digital asset ecosystem. And let me play a video clip from an industry leading expert say the same exact thing. So take a second here and listen to what this gentleman has to say.
All come together. This is one of those moments. It's going to be very interesting to see how that splits or doesn't split the Democratic Party.
More importantly, I think if this goes through, the amount of, because the rule, the amount of reserves a bank or a financial institution is required to have for the volatility of this asset is incredible, prohibitive from them doing anything.
Yep.
So if this goes through, the amount of tokenization of the assets that can be put on chain is just going to explode. So it's important that this works.
Which is why it was put to begin with, you know, by the SEC. It was a very effective tool to block a lot from happening on chain.
Right. The gentleman from Galaxy just mentioned that this SAB 121 was an effective tool to block institutions from coming on chain. The gentleman from Ava Labs, John Wu, says that once this is lifted, it's going to bring a monumental amount of capital into the digital asset space. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. These are the things that you all should be paying attention to, not just all of these bullish Moonboy price predictions. Understand why this industry is being held back. Allow yourselves to see the opportunities in the now, not be misled and misguided and shaken out of your positions because the market experiences downturns in the form of volatility. Like, understand how massive the opportunity here is for life-changing wealth, that these financial institutions have not flooded into this space yet. The market is currently sitting at what, $2.1 trillion. In my personal opinion, I haven't give any bullish Moonboy price prediction on the market cap for the next bull market cycle, but I firmly believe we're going to at least at a minimum do a 2 to 3x from the last peak of the market cycle that we experienced last time, which was what, about 3.1 some odd trillion dollars. So you guys do that math on your own time. Many blessings to you guys, and that's minimum. Okay, that's a minimum. Once these regulations come into play, I don't see any reason why institutions hold back from buying up these assets at groundbreakingly low prices. Okay. Oh man, wow. especially assets with utility. We are at the forefront of something so massive, and people, because of lack of emotional control and their inability to conduct solid research, are going to miss out on. Regardless, again, if you hold XRP, Hbar, XLM, Quant, again, we're not here to debate that. Do your research on what assets you want to allocate on. Like you meant, or like this lady mentioned, Zoe Cruz from Minia Financial Group, who is an SEC regulated entity, 0% allocated to this space is the wrong answer. All right. With that being said, do your own personal research. None of this is financial advice. As always, be cognizant, be aware out there, and I will see you guys in the next video breakdown.